Today we started out putting in hurricane ties on our all-thread studs. We also did some rough plumbing. Um, it was a little slow. They're still kind of piecing all the plumbing together, so that took quite a bit of time. But we did get our ABS in, we got our vents in, we started running our PEX too.
That's basically it. We got all of our sink drains in, all of our ABS glued together. About halfway, more than halfway done with our PEX. Just a few pieces we were missing, so we weren't able to finish.
I guess just the layout for the plumbing. But that is what it is. We're just piecing things together as we go, and Dan and everybody figuring out exactly how it goes together.
Same. I just wish, I wish we had like plans for the plumbing versus trying to figure it out. But that's why it took so long. We kind of had to like learn as we go, but we were able to get it. We know where it's supposed to go. We just need the parts to finish it. I put a hurricane tie on wrong. I put it just solely on the compression stud. I didn't tie it into the top plate, so I had to take it off after I had all 10 nails on and put it up again. So I'll never make that mistake again. Probably when you start putting in your hurricane ties, just have one person do all the outside ties and one person on the inside, just top and bottom. That made it go, well, not quick because it still took about 45 minutes, but it made it go smoother. Instead of having to run outside and come back inside, you stayed on the same set of compression studs.
Yeah, when you get ready to do your plumbing, split up the work when you can. Have one person work on one side and the other person working on another section.
Yeah.
Work together but separately.
So today we're going to need our hammer or palm nailer for our hurricane ties. Then once we're done with that, we're going to go to our drill, a spade bit, and a 3-inch hole saw for our ABS and vent through roofs. And after we're done with our ABS, we're going to switch over to our PEX when we're going to need our crimpers, our PEX cutters, and our drill to drill in our pipe holders, as well as our 3/4 inch and 1/2 inch hot and cold PEX. So today we're starting off by putting in our hurricane ties, and we're using an air compressor and a palm nailer. So it's not a lot quicker, but it just helps save your wrist from hammering. And after that, we're going to install all of our plumbing, and if we have time, we're going to start our wall sheathing. What we're doing with the hurricane ties is we split up. Like Jasper's going to get all the hurricane ties on the outside of the house, top and bottom, and I'm going around on the inside just so you don't have to bounce back and forth. That seems to be going fairly quick.
So right here, you got to have a 2-inch pipe. So this block's got to come out. All right. Is this the top of your 21? Yeah. What I would do is this. Take this block and turn it around to 20. What is it, 20 and a half? What'd you do here? Yeah, 19 3/4. So what you want is put this block with the bottom right there. Actually, put the bottom about right there. And then, because you've got a drain coming out here, and then it's going back this way, and it's going to tie in back over here. So over here, we're going to start with a clean out. Cut this up about 2 inches. And then you're going to put a clean out right here. We want about to have 6 inches to the center of that clean out. So that's about 3 inches, but figure about 6 inches to the center of that clean out, okay? And that'll face that direction. Okay. All right, then this pipe has got to have a slope down. That drain's got to go in and then slope down to this, which will go above that, you'll have a piece of pipe and then this, and that drain will come over and tie into that.
So just like a little 2-inch piece of pipe just to stick them together?
No, I'll go over that with you. So right now, let's move this block. Well, hang on a minute. Yeah, because see, the drain has to be 21 inches, 18 inches to the center of the drain, all right? So I'd say drill it, but you got nails in here, so you're going to hit the nails, right? So I'd take this whole block off and move the block up to here and put it across there, the bottom of the block, put the block from there up. All right, and then you can take those and they can nail to the block here rather than like this, okay? So get that going, and then you want to drill a hole whatever distance here, right here and up through the roof. Okay, we've got to miss. Yeah, I know, I see that. What do we have on each side? We don't have enough for a 2-inch pipe, do we?
I don't think so.
There's more on this.
On this side? You're going to have to notch the bottom of that eye joist. All right, just drill your hole up through. Keep it that same distance right there and just drill it straight up through there. All right? Yeah, because you already got wires. Is there wires hooked to that? Does this wire go all the way down?
It goes right here.
Okay, so we don't have any wires that are going to be in the way right there. All right, you're good. So go ahead and get that drilled. Yeah, we're going to have to set our washer box at a certain height. 42 inches is what we're going for. And then they'll figure out where this drain, we have a P-trap. We have an 18-inch leg coming down and then a P-trap going over that's got to tie into our other pipe over here. So they're going to figure out where that's got to go in order to tie it into that pipe. So we might be right up against this 2x4, and then we'll regulate it to tie into our pipe back here.
Well, we put our blocking in at the wrong height. Well, the right height for our stubouts, but we also need a 2-inch drain, an ABS drain going that high. So we have to move our blocking up a little bit to make room for our stubouts and our drain.
So how high up did it have to be now?
20 and a half to the bottom of our block. So right now we're starting our drain for our sink, and it's just going to start out, we're going to cut our ABS, leaving just a few inches above the top to give us some room to pull it up and down. And after that, we're going to take our clean out T-joint and we're going to smear it with some ABS glue. And when you put your glue on, you're going to want to put a whole bunch on the inside and on the outside of what you're joining it to. And when you put it on, you want to twist it a quarter of a turn. And what that's going to do is it's going to pop all the little air bubbles inside and make sure that it's just 100% glue and no air. And that's going to prevent leaks when we do our pressure test. And the center of our clean out needs to be 6 inches above our bottom plate. So right now, Jasper's drilling holes through our 2x6 wall, because what we need to do is we're going to have our sinks drain right here on this side. So we need to create a slope with this 1.5-inch ABS for it to drain down here. So he's drilling our holes at an angle so it'll look something like this, and it'll come straight down here And the way we came up with the angle is we found the center of where our drain's going to be, which is 18 inches. And we ran a 4-foot level across here, and we found that this line's level. So we dropped it 3/4 of an inch for our slope, because that gives us a 1/4 of an inch drop per foot we're moving over, and that's the right angle for water to drain down consistently.
Go ahead and show me the way it's going to look when you put it all together.
It'll look like this, something like that.
Then we're going to measure over. What I want to make sure is this pipe is going to tie into this one. Is it going to tie into that? So maybe not. So in order to get that pipe tied in, we might have to do something like this. Okay? So this one would go like this, and that would move your pipe over enough to tie in. So this one should be straight like that.
Yeah.
And then this would tie it in like that, okay? So that looks like that's going to work, doesn't it?
So now we just need to cut some 1.5 inches.
Right.
30, what do you want to do? 34?
Don't do anything yet until you get this made up on that. So here's what you got to do.
Don't we have to put this down to...
Yeah, we will. We will. But we want to get this glued into here first. All right. So see those marks on it right there?
That's where they need to line up.
That's where those have to line up. So glue that together like that. Just cut a piece big enough to glue those two together.
These are the marks.
So we're installing this for the washer. We had to add some blocking here. You can see on the side of this stud right here. And then a 2x6 here. And that 2x6 is flush with our interior studs right here. So that way we can attach this. It's nice and secure. And exactly where it needs to be.
Well, and this is supposed to be how many inches off the ground? 40 something?
Right here we have 42 to the bottom. It needs to be 42 to the top of the box. We have found out after consulting Dan's plumber, so we're gonna move it down.
Well, right now we're trying to finish our hookup on our P-trap to our washing machine and the drain pipe that goes out. So we've dry fitted our fittings, and now they're going to adjust everything to the marks they have. They marked it all. And then we're going to glue it all together, and that'll be our final position of the P-trap and the stack going up. So we have to take in combination this little space right here. We've got to have a dryer vent, which the other ones we were going to vent out the sidewall, but now we've got to vent it up through the roof. And going to work? It should go together. It's a tight fit, so we're trying to get everything to line up, and we don't have a lot of room in here to get everything lined up. They're doing their...
That much more important that they take their time to...
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Just to dry fit it and make sure everything's going to work, and then from here they'll run a vent all the way up through the roof. Yes, they did a great job. They got all the fittings put together. Looks nice. And now they'll run a vent pipe up through the roof.
So we just finished with all of our ABS. We got this set up. We have a vent going all the way up through the roof. And now we're getting started to run our PEX. It's going to start down here. Isaiah is right now drilling holes through our 2x4s. It's going to come through that wall into the shower, into this bay, where it's going to connect to the shower valve somewhere in here, and then we're going to run a white line from the valve through this wall, and through here, and it's going to come up in here to the shower head area.
So we revised what they did yesterday. So we have our main inputs, our main feed for our waters. So what we did is we brought them up and did a gradual bend into them, into our feed that's going to go up to the washer box. And then we teed off of it, went to our shower head, and then the ones that go under go and feed our bathroom sink. So I try not to use 90s. 90s is kind of like your plan B if you absolutely have to. The reason for that is your 90s restrict the water flow and it will drop your water pressure. So if doing it this way, you do less of a restriction on your flow and you get better water pressure. Everything flows a little bit better, and so I like to try doing it with T's and not using 90s. If I can sweep the pipe into it, then that's your better option. So yeah, just try to stay away from the 90s unless you absolutely have to use them. I've in some sentences or circumstances, you know, you can't get away from using them, and there's no choice but to use them. So anytime you can, just try to use a nice gentle sweep, and that will help. That will keep your water pressure up, and your flow flowing a lot better.
Well, right now we're almost done running our PEX for our toilet and sink vanity. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a loop with our tubing, because every 90 we add will restrict the water pressure. So we're gonna come up from our 3/4 up here, and we're gonna run it all the way to this stub out. And this is called clocking your stub out. So we're gonna keep the natural bend of our PEX in there. And then we're gonna take our stub out and match that angle. Our stub outs are gonna be 21 inches to the center and 6 inches on each side from the center of our drain. Just make sure when you cut your PEX. So if I measure, and I know I need my PEX cut about here, I'm gonna hold my finger there and straighten it out. Now I can cut it. And that'll leave a straight cut versus an angle cut, because you can't have an angle, because when you go to crimp it, your crimp won't bite equally around your PEX.
Cool. So this is ultimately the way it's supposed to look.
This is how it's supposed to look. Our ABS has a downward slope to allow for water to drain. We have our vent through roof. It's strapped. This is almost finished product after we tie these in and screw it. And when we come over here for our toilet stub out, what we did is we took a piece of block and we drilled through both of all of our 2x4s and 2x6 with a 3/4 inch spade bit. And we're gonna push it through our blocking. It's the same exact thing we did here. And we pre-cut a piece of PEX that'll go ahead and slide down. Connect right here, and this will feed our cold water for our toilet. So after we connect this and crimp it down, then we're gonna go ahead and shoot it in the wall with nails once we know it fits.
The guys had a very productive day today running ABS waste lines, the black pipe, and running the water lines to the washer box, the toilet, and the shower. We have a couple lines here that we're finishing up. They still got to get the shower valve hooked up. And that'll have two lines going to it, the hot and cold. And then out of the top of this valve, they'll run a line over to a shower head, which will be on this wall right here. They've got the sink drain in. This is the drain for the vanity sink. It goes over, and that vents out through the roof. So we try to keep as many sweeps as we can with the pipe rather than using 90s. So you can see how we did it here, and then over here, same thing. We eliminated a lot of 90s by bringing the sweep up, hooking it into a main line, but we want to keep 3/4 inch as much as we can to keep the water pressure up. And then we've got a clean out for the washer here. So we have a clean out there, and then we have a clean out over behind the toilet and this vent stack that's going up here. So they had a really good day. They'll finish up tomorrow, and very happy with the progress they got done today.